This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Strap yourself in,
because we're set up, switched on and ready to go.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
and it's live.
Good evening, fellow Fox fans. How the
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe.
I'm getting that excited. I have no idea what I am doing. Good evening, and why am I getting so excited? Well, I'll tell you what, both me and I'm joined this evening, and I'll bring him in a second, Brad. We've just been talking about the Man United team news, and I'll tell you something, Brad hasn't been this excited since the resurrection. I'm not going to lie with you, and I'm quite over the moon, and I'm trying to hold it in. I really am. And at my age, that's quite easy to hold it in, I'll tell you. This is Leicester Till I Die. It's the pre-match show. Good evening. Yes, it is, and we are live on YouTube, Leicester Till I Die TV. If you like what you see, please give us a subscribe. We are on Facebook, Leicester Till I Die, the group, and on the old Twitter sphere at Leicester TID. Well, let's not mess about because we kick off in 47 minutes approximately. Not that I'm counting it all, but let me bring my colleague Brad in, who's helping me out this evening. Bradders, how the devil are you, sir?
I am a lot better after. Well, nervously, I'm a bit better about hearing the lineup for tonight's game from both sides. That's definitely improved the atmosphere.
Let's start with the United lineup first of all, because Ollie has made. Now, are you ready for this? 10 changes. I know you are, Brad. I was referring to the greater good, as they say. 10 changes he's made. And I'm just going to. After getting past about 10 photographs of Old Trafford, Manchester United boss Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that was the only way to do it. That is the strongest we can get, but I'm looking forward to it. These boys will do everything they can for the team, and it's a chance for them to play their way into the next game against Liverpool. I want to win every game. He's got his eye on Liverpool. He hasn't got his eye. I think he's accepted. He's probably dragged it out as long as he can with Manchester City. But I'm just going to read the team out and give me your thoughts. They've got De Gea in goal, 4 at the back with Telles, Tunzebi, I've never even heard of him, Bailey and Williams. Midfield 2 of Matic and Van de Beek, I was in there holding, and then 3 across in front of them, Elanga, Mata and Diallo, and Sol up front is Greenwood on his own. Like the sound of that?
I think you've got to like the sound of it, and obviously it's a bit dangerous to always get over optimistic when you see what you'd class as a weakened side when it's a team of United's calibre. Yeah. I mean, it's the best lineup for the best opportunity for Leicester to go out there and get the points. To me, it was something that, we've had on our show yesterday, and I was on a few United fan shows yesterday, and yourself, Chris. I think this is the one way. This is maybe Manchester United, and a lot of fans were hoping with the same thing that Leicester fans were, which was they rest the key players like Fernandes, Pogba, Rashford, etc. for the Liverpool game, which a lot of fans say no disrespect to Leicester, and I understand why, but the history is Manchester United, Liverpool, that's the bigger game.
Yeah.
The title's never a contention. They've dragged it out as long as they can, which is exactly what you said. That I think that's right. And I think there's also a twinge to that rivalry between Manchester United and Liverpool. They'd rather say, we'll rest our players. We're not going to let you win. We're not going to lay down and die. But if you can get a result, get yourself an extra point, we'll go full strength. We'll keep you in the top 4 and we'll keep Liverpool out of it. I was going to
say the skeptics another meaning when it comes to talking about Man United. And a Simpy, good evening, Simpy. Thanks for joining us. An Arsenal friend here. Not only is he hoping for an Nacho masterclass, but he says if we don't win this game, we don't deserve top 4. But the skeptics amongst us might say that is as much designed to keep Liverpool out the top 4 as to stop Manchester, if not more, to stop Manchester City winning the league any longer.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, and look, we can't get too carried away. It's always nice when you see some big stars not in that lineup. It happens to any team. I mean, if we was playing Man City right now and they didn't have Gabriel Jesus and Kevin De Bruyne and Diaz on their side, you'd be licking your lips. But the thing, the biggest concern is if that does not inspire these lads to turn up and give 100%, I don't know what will. I think that comment's right. It's still going to be difficult. There's still very good quality players out there. A few youngsters in one of the centre backs and Brandon Williams. Anyone that's a big boffin on any of the Football Manager style games, and I know I bring that up a lot because I'm one of them, will know that Brandon Williams is quite highly rated and expected to develop into quite a good defender. So it's not obviously a shut and dry case, as the saying is. It's not done and dusted. We haven't got a point or won the game yet. But the thing after the Newcastle game was the response. If you get the performance, you feel with the lineup they're out of, it's more expectant we get something. And I think that's what we just need to make sure we get right.
I just want to temper all this excitement because I'll just read the substitutes for you here for Man United. Lindelof, Pogba, Cavani, Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Shaw, Henderson, Wan-Bissaka and McTominay. That's kind of scary when you come to think what they can bring off the bench.
Yeah, which kind of maybe in a way could work in Leicester's favour. It'll give them more emphasis. Brendan Rodgers will not want Leicester to be slow, lethargic and giving the ball away like they have done on occasions in the first half. If we can get ourselves in a decent position in the first half, I don't think you'll be too worried about the bench. I think if we can get to a stage where it's about 60 minutes and we're 2-0 up, ever the optimist here, but I'm talking that's the sort of situation Leicester would need to be into where Ollie doesn't put Bruno on or Pogba on. He maybe puts players on and goes, well, I'll give you a bit of game time because this game's gone. And because I feel
he's still got to think, hasn't he, that he's only just played a game on Sunday and he's got tonight and then he's got Thursday as well. Now, in reply to Dead Cheddar there, the BBC have got us down as a 3-4-1-2. But what I'm going to do, let me just bring the our team in now and see what you think of this. So we've got Schmeichel in goal, and then we've got, and he's just trying to, my eyes aren't what they used to be. It looks like we've got a back three. So Incho, Fofana, Castagna. It's a bit scary because that's, I think, the way we had it the other day. Across the middle, Thomas, Tillemans, Ndidi and Albrighton. Perez behind the top two of Vardy and Inacho. So basically, I don't think there's any changes there, is there? Oh, two changes. Pierre and Maddison. Pierre and Maddison aren't starting. The subs bench there. I don't know who Muswanji is. Best of luck to the guy, but I must admit I've never heard of him. But basically, it's a stronger team as Brendan could go for.
Yeah, it actually looked looks like Leicester are either going to play a 4-3-1-2 or a traditional 4-4-2. Even in that, because I'm seeing Castagnet for Farnes. So see Fafana and Soyuncu as your back two, Castagnet on the right, Thomas on the left, and then you've got Ndidi and Tillemans.
Well,
yeah, that looks like they could be going 4-4-2, to be honest with you.
It looks. I wouldn't mind. I mean, the BBC, like I say, have got it as a 3-4-1-2, which wouldn't surprise me. I'd be a little bit worried about that, to be totally honest with you, because of course that's what we played against Newcastle, that formation, and that was kind of went a little bit tits up, didn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it might be a defensive 4-4-2, because I think if Maddison isn't playing in front, or he hasn't got Perez playing in front of him, Tillemans works a lot better and closer with Ndidi. I think a lot of Leicester fans have noticed that if Maddison's missing, he becomes more of the Tillemans has more of a free reign and is more of the workhorse. Yeah. If I was a man to put a bet on what the formation is, it looks like a defensive 4-4-2. I think you'll have Ndidi and Tillemans in close quarters and Perez and Albrighton on the left and right to stretch them. But this is Brendan Rodgers. He might have 6 at the back, 3 in midfield and 1 up front. We don't know.
We've sat here post-match many a time this season, Brad, haven't we? And we've sat there and went, yeah, Brendan knows what he's doing. Yeah. A few times we've sort of said the opposite. Yeah. But a question for you here. The win is important, but is it more important not to lose?
I think so. And I think it's also more important to remember that just because United...
Oh, and Brad has frozen there. Is he going to come back? He looks like he's looking up to God for divine... Oh, you totally froze them, Brad. We're not getting you. No, Brad, you might want to log off and log back on. You've frozen. We're not hearing you at all. You move. Anyway, well, let's have a look. Matthew, good evening, Matthew. Thanks for joining us, mate. Terry, a few people have said this, to be honest with you. Not least the wise old sage that is Craig. Tillemans is a better player without Maddison. I think we've got Craig. I think we've got Brad back now. Brad, you froze then. We didn't really get any of that at all, to be honest with you.
Yeah, sorry, it's this pissing internet in the house. I've had to go upstairs to do the pre show, because obviously I live with housemates and they're downstairs at the moment. What I was saying is as though the side of Manchester United looks excitable, we have to remember we haven't beaten Manchester United at Old Trafford since, I believe, Tony Cotty's goal in the 1-0 victory in 98.
It's 15 in 20 they've won. Put it that way.
Yeah, but I don't think we've won at Old Trafford since '98. If my knowledge serves me right.
That's 15 and 20 at Old Trafford.
Is it? Jesus, that's not bad. So yeah,
I wasn't going to mention that. I was like, shh, but as soon as you brought it up,
yeah. I think obviously it's one that we don't need to lose. I mean, losing would be bad in regards to, top 4 and the knock-on effect from the last 2 results not being what Leicester fans expected. But I think today, and I did throw it up on the Leicester Side Eye Facebook page, that I think the performance is key tonight. I think if you look at that Manchester United side and look at how they've been for the last 6, 7, 8 games, where they've been scoring for fun, regardless of the lineup or who they're playing, if we can come away with a good performance, that might just help a bit of a sting of twinge of disappointment if we don't go and beat United tonight.
Lackland says there wouldn't be a pre-game show without Brad freezing at least once. What you got to remember.
Keep it going.
what you got to remember, Lachlan, is though that Brad is 2021 years old, so we do have to sort of allow him a little bit of give on the show. Talking of form, as it happens, if you look at this again, everything about tonight, apart from their team, is actually scaring me. They haven't lost in 5 games, Man United. They went behind at Villa last game, dime out and came back. Leeds held them to a creditable draw. Next to that, our form is looking a little bit dodgy, which is probably why you said about the performance.
Yeah, it is, and it's been very rare this season, and Newcastle's on a very short list of performances that were very, very displeasing. I think West Ham at home was a very displeasing one.
Well, I was laughing then because you sounded like a very disapproving parent.
I don't, when you just say to your child, "I'm not angry, I'm disappointed."
Yes,
I think that was the general consensus of Newcastle, wasn't it? As long as and the one thing we've always came a credit when them performances have happened, and we've talked about them when they've happened, Chris, is the reaction. You can stomach a defeat, you can stomach a bad performance as long as it doesn't seep into the next 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
And okay, you could argue you should beat 10 men Southampton, but it's not always that easy. We've got results with 10 men before. It happens, right? Newcastle was one of them games where, like I said, it's on a very small list of this season of utter trash performances by the team. I'd say the Arsenal at home and the West Ham at home, and maybe even the Leeds at home. Ironically, the home games were the ones I remember.
Man United are up there with us, with actually they perform better away from home, not unlike ourselves, But Rob says here, good evening, Rob. Thanks for joining us. How doesn't Pratt get in? He'll be off in the summer. Unbelievable, Jeff.
Yeah, it's one of them, and every so often, a club kind of gets a player that the fans really take to, but he doesn't seem to get the game time the fans want to see of him. And I feel sorry for Pratt not getting more game time than he has. I know he's had a few injuries here and there, but when he's played this season, he looked good. He scored a great goal against Burnley. I believe actually his goal against Burnley is in the contender for goal of the season, so it was a really good hit from him. And he seems to really like being at Leicester and really wants to be a success at Leicester and get into that team. And unfortunately, with a heavy heart in a sense, I do feel that he will be gone in the summer, and it's not through his choice or the fans' choice of saying we need him gone or want him gone. It'll be a case of I like it here, but I need first team football. Because sometimes it has begged the question, him and Under have both been flagged up as players that we can't understand sometimes why they've not been given seemingly a fair crack. But who knows? Maybe something will change. Maybe Brendan has something in mind for next season, and that will convince him to stay. But for now, it's just a bit disappointing to see him not get a start.
But then again, we have got another little game coming up in 4 days' time, so you don't know what is behind Brendan's thinking, and he's got these things to consider. Let us know your score predictions, guys. I was trying to pin something to the top then, and it doesn't let me do this.
Right, show like your technology failing, would it?
It wouldn't be. It wouldn't at all. No. Lachlan says 2-1 Nacho Man with a double. I mean, even in that poor performance, and for fans of Breaking Bad, you'll appreciate this, but even in that poor performance, he got a goal. And, he's not in danger. He is the danger, is he not?
Yeah, he very much is. He is the man on form at the moment. I think if you could, I know Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville last night, I believe, did a team of the year or team of the season or whichever one it was. And obviously, surprise, surprise, no Leicester players got in there. It was all Man City, Man United and Tottenham, of course. It's funny how they're suddenly back on board with the Elite Six after shouting them out. But I think if you could give a half-season team of the year, he would be in there. He'd be in there and he'd be captain, wouldn't he, for his form in the second half of the season, because he's been phenomenal. And and this might just suit him. Again, it's another sort of game where I think let's remember against Newcastle, it took us 78 minutes to actually start playing football and break Newcastle down. And that probably had a lot to do with the fact that Newcastle had scored 4 and the result was dead. But until then, he didn't get too many chances. I don't feel like, even with United's lineup, they're not going to sit 10 behind the ball and take a draw. So I think he'll get a few opportunities. And David De Gea has not found himself in the first team for the last couple of months with the rising of Henderson, which a lot of United fans are glad to see. In the nicest way to De Gea, they appreciate everything he's done, and he's a world-class keeper. But obviously, and Leicester fans will know eventually it's going to happen with us with Casper, that your time comes, you need to pass the torch. So that might help. He's a bit fatigued, not had too much game, might be a bit rusty. Nacho likes to hit them with space.
And in fairness, De Gea's not been in the best form when he was playing. So, Jamie Vardy screamer, Matthew says here, it would be nice just to see. I thought when he got that goal against West Brom, I thought, here we go, this will kickstart him. I feel a bit sorry for Nacho, because if this was Nacho, we would be hanging him from the light fittings, wouldn't we? But having said that, at least Jamie Vardy is, he's turning into a provider, and while he's on the pitch, you've got to keep him sort of, you've got to watch him, and he's going to take a couple of defenders out all the time. Dipak, good evening, thanks for joining us. He's gone 1-1. Would a draw be good enough, Brad?
Yeah. I still stand by my prediction that I made yesterday on Keane's channel. It's still a point. It's still a good point. It's still not an easy place to go to. And I'd have taken a point before I knew the teams. I can't change my opinion now. I went 1-1, and I agree with Dipak. It's a very it still would be a very good point to take, especially given the Newcastle result. I just think if the performance matches it and we can get an entertaining 1-1 draw, I'm not going to be too disheartened. Obviously, I think a win's a bonus today. I think if we can go out and beat that team, brilliant. That's top 4. But I would take a point.
I mean, looking at the table there, even if Man United were to win tonight, it says even, they'd still be sort of 7 points behind. They're dragging it out, but it's like, it's not a case of if the bus is coming, it's when the bus is coming. Chelsea, it's a bit scary to think, have they had Tuchel right from the start of the season, where they might be, but we can only play what's there. And somebody said the other day that we're only doing well because, I think you were in the show at the same time, that because Arsenal and Spurs have underperformed. Well, that's not our problem, but
no, exactly, that's not our problem.
But we have, we've dropped from that 4th. I'm getting a little bit squeaky bum as last year this happened, or last season, I should say, this happened. But I don't know whether a point will be enough. Looking at West Ham's game, I think the West Ham have got Brighton to play, and my hope was that Brighton might still be dragged down into it. But of course, now we know the 3 that are going down, Brighton are safe. So the problem, they may have a team of teenagers in. We don't know. I am squeaky bum time. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, I understand why, and there is somewhere in my subconscious and the back of my mind that is just as concerned as yourself. But the way I see it is, people are focusing on Leicester, which is not too bad. I don't mind, because it means that they're so confident that we're going to bottle it. They keep completely forgetting that West Ham and Liverpool, etc., have been below us all season for a very good, practically all season, apart from the first 10 games when even Southampton were top of the Premier League.
What you meant to say was even Tottenham were top.
Yeah, even Tottenham were top. It was that bad. But these teams have been below us for the majority of the season for a very good reason. We have had the edge of consistency. Yeah. And let's not forget, Chelsea have got to play us. They've got to play Arsenal. Manchester United are playing Liverpool. And sometimes you get the funny feeling, don't you, when you're safe and you're a team like Brighton, and maybe you've not got many game times, and you realise you might get a chance to shine in the last 3 or 4 games because they're safe now, which is great for Brighton. Well done to them, and well done to every other team that stayed up. And commiserations to the fans of teams that have gone down. But you might find that, you normally see a team like that, they go on the holiday mode, as they say, and a few players that may have only got 1 or 2 games a season get the running, don't they? They get like the last 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
And they're out there to impress. I remember a certain Newcastle United, although that name should be banned from here for the next 3 weeks, I reckon. But I remember
careful where you go with this, mate.
I remember, well, this might cheer you up. I remember a certain relegated Newcastle United stuffing the absolute poop out of Tottenham, which cost them 2nd place in that infamous season. So I would not write the likes of Brighton, Southampton, etc. off, because they're the teams we've all lost to.
Yeah, they've not actually, when you're down there in that position, and Leicester have done it themselves. The season we actually left left Filbert Street, we won the last game again against Tottenham, as it happens. It's nice to always mention these games, but we were down, we were out, and you normally see that just frees you up because you've got all that weight and expectation. Taken off you. Lackland says there, and what time is it over there in Lackland? In Australia, Lackland.
Lackland.
Can I just look? This is a big game. This is probably, it is a must-win game in my eyes. Anyway, I know you'd be happy with the draw. Liverpool is what I'm concerned about. There are 3 winnable fixtures coming up. Now, one of those fixtures, I don't know whether you included Man United in that. Possibly not. But they've got Man United, and that's what's kind of keeping me going, because we do want Man United do want to beat Liverpool. Even if this was a 10th versus 11th mid-table clash with nothing to play for, they'd still want to beat each other because of that rivalry. And, you can see, Ollie, he has put a weakened team out, but it's not the team he would normally play if he wasn't playing Liverpool in 2 days' time.
Oh, definitely. I'm 100%. And like I said, I've spoken to a fair few Manchester United fans, and I've seen them on Twitter, social media. They were before this game and before the team news, like I said, was announced, they were expecting changes. Granted, they weren't expecting as many changes as they have made, but they were expecting changes, and they were very assured that Ollie was going to give Leicester an easier opportunity to get a result with the lineup in question, and hopefully do Leicester a favour. I know a lot of Manchester United fans were expectant of, like I said, the changes, and they are very, very focused on beating Liverpool. They've dragged out the title for as long as they can. Now it's beat the rivals.
Let me just read 3 comments out from 3 Manchester United fans. Somebody called Tom Lawrence says, Klopp got absolutely slated for playing kids against Aston Villa in the League Cup when we had a game less than 24 hours later on another continent. Where's that energy for Ollie tonight? Harrison says, Ollie fielding a weak team to let Leicester win so Liverpool didn't get top 4 is legendary behaviour. And Daniel says, isn't it bad that I wouldn't get if we got beat tonight? Sorry, Liverpool. I feel like it's like, when Chelsea got the draw with Tottenham, they didn't want Tottenham to win so that Claudio and Leicester could win the league. I'm getting that bit of a sense tonight. I don't know if you are.
Yeah, I actually have been saying it's not since that night. It's not since that season, in fact, that I haven't felt so popular in all my life for supporting Leicester City. It's quite surreal to feel like the popular choice. Going back to that Villa thing, the first comment, first of all, Liverpool signed themselves up to that. They could have declined the invitation. I don't think it's customary, and even if it is, they knew they were going to be playing. Second of all, there's a difference between rotating 10 players like Ollie has and still, I would consider them 11 strong players for a first team in Manchester United. If they had gone through the season with them players, you wouldn't have batted an eyelid.
In fairness, a team like their second string can be as good as that second string would beat Fulham, West Brom, should beat Fulham, West Brom, and Sheffield United.
Yeah, Liverpool could have made the necessary changes to have kept a squad from their first team playing 2 games. It was ridiculous and a farce they put out the under-18s. I'm not having that, but the rest of the comments I hope we do it tonight. I hope we win 3-0. Realistically, in my head, I'm thinking, I hope we win 3-0 and you beat Liverpool 3-0 as well, and happy days.
Lackland, it's 2:30 a.m. down under, mate. I tell you what, you've got to stay in power. Hope you're not at work tomorrow, mate. Bloody hell. Ethan, Spurs fan here. Come on, Leicester. Hope you get a top 4 spot. A win today guarantees it. I don't think it would actually. Mathematically, it wouldn't. And I'm not even sure if, just generally it would. But Stephen Collins, gents, if this goes belly up, can I reserve a spot on the therapy?
Yes, you can, Stephen.
You know what, you'd have to kick us off first, mate. You really would. But look, it's coming up to 1:45. We're about 19 minutes off kickoff time, and I think we need to get a bare feet up watching it. This worries me because we do the score predictions every week with the X-Foxes, and, well, if I say Steve Walsh, Steve Lynex, Ian Marshall, all ex-Leicester players have all gone for the Man United win. 3-1, 3-0 and 3-1 respectively. Come on, guys, back me up here. I've gone 2-1 Leicester. I'm flying the flag. I'm flying the flag for Leicester here. There's only me gone for a win. Oh, well, I look stupid if we don't now, but I'm going for the 2-1. Come on, Jesus! You can turn water into wine into water for us. I can predict the score for tonight.
I
thought you froze again for a minute.
Yeah, I want to join you in saying that we're going to win, but I can never change a score prediction. I like to make it before I know the team, so I can sort of have a unbiased look at it. It is Man U. It is still at Old Trafford. The lineup is exciting to look on because it doesn't contain the likes of Pogba, Bruno Fernandes, Maguire, Rashford, etc. But it's still got to be a game that the players can't get excited about. In the sense of thinking they're going to walk and get a victory here. So I'd be happy with 1-1. But I'll go on a limb, Chris, and say if we do win, it's going to be by a big scoreline. I reckon it'll be an FA Cup quarter-final sort of scoreline, a 3-1.
I will see you in 2.5 hours' time, sir.
Yes, when I'm effing and jeffing and we're all having therapy because this went wrong.
No. We'll all be sat here, smiles. With a bottle of gin, this will be gin, not water. If we win, I tell you, I'll be celebrating, and we'll be happy. Thanks for joining us, mate. I'll see you in 2.5 hours' time, mate. 8:15.
Yeah, I'll see you then.
Cheers later.
Yeah,
thanks so much,
then, mate.
Cheers, Ethan. Apologies. I've just swapped your teams there. Newcastle. I was trying to forget Newcastle, kind of, but thanks for not rubbing anything in, Brookline, we have to put the game away, or they will bring on the big guns in the 70th minute, quite possibly. But, if we're 2 or 3 up by then, he says. 1-1 says Facebook user. I don't know. I just don't think that will be enough. I really, really don't. I mean, just have a look here. We are with 5 points ahead of West Ham. If we draw and then they win their next game, there's only a point difference. That's going to be a little bit worrying. Look, guys, we're going to be back at 8:15. Enjoy the game as best you can. I know it's not going to be easy at all. After this, we've only got a little match of the FA Cup coming up. So, it doesn't get any better, does it? If you would be so grateful, and we would love you forevermore, please press that subscribe button. It's in the bottom right-hand corner now as you're looking at it. Give it a click if you've not already subscribed. Help us get the numbers up. It helps the channel. Thanks very much. And if you want to listen to any of our shows back, this one doesn't go out because obviously it's specific to the current time. But if you want to listen to any of the other shows, they all go out on podcast form. Anchor FM, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Podcast Addict, and your favorite podcast platform. Oh, I'm knackered and I've not even started yet. Come on, the Foxes. We're going to win, aren't we? we're going to be back 8:15 with the post-match show, me and Brad. Good luck, guys. Let's hope for a win.
You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
Hello, Matt Elliott here. Be sure to watch Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and follow all them social media platforms for all the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
Some people are on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now.